Welcome to today's video. You guys already know and love the Bogan 32, but we're gonna make it a little bit more posh, a little bit snobby as we would say. We're gonna give it 5-lug. That's right, it's gonna get a 5-lug conversion, it's gonna get new wheels, and it's also getting a new diff. So, let's transform this thing together. While Daikie's getting the Bogan 32 up on the lift, it's Christmas time for us, and we got a cart, very heavy cart, full of multiple boxes. So let's get these open. Box number 1 is our new diff. And this came out of just a normal manual R32 GTST. So this is perfect for exactly what we need. It also comes with the right shafts that we need, so we can pretty much take everything that we put in this car to go back into that Skyline that we borrowed for the track day. And this is currently in open, but we're gonna fix that today and weld that thing up, and she'll be mint. Box number 2. Oh my gosh, they packaged everything crazy. This is nuts. This is pretty wild for a Yahoo Auctions company. All right, give me a second. Possibly this is the most overkill packaging I've ever seen for front hub assemblies. But I gotta give it to them. I appreciate the hell out of it because, yeah. Best thing is all of this is just one piece, so it's super easy for us to switch over onto the Skyline. And we don't have to like press bearings or anything like that. We were able to just pretty much pick up 2 front hubs off the Skyline. We found this awesome company on Yahoo Auctions that isn't actually like asking for, you know, 10 grand for R32 parts. There we go. Perfect. It seems like these pads, it might have endless brake pads in it too. You see the blue pads there? Huh, it's kind of nice. Got both of the front hubs out of the box, and I love that they also included the wheel nuts. That's great. You never have enough spare wheel nuts. Also, they did come with endless pads, and they're practically brand new. So that's a win. Rotors look like they're in great condition. A little bit of brake fluid that's kind of leaked everywhere that we'll clean up, but otherwise, good. And this is the I think it's the non-turbo rear-wheel drive Skyline, because it doesn't obviously have the bigger like 4-pot front brakes like you see on the Silvia. This would be the same, or like the Z32 front pots, these ones. We don't have those on there, but that's fine. This thing's a missile. This will be more than enough, and it's perfect for what we need. Now, box number 3. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this company's kind of like king of just packaging. I think I've never received car parts, secondhand car parts this well packaged before. Also, they bubble wrapped the boxes. Like, I get bubble wrap on the inside of the box, but the outside of the boxes, inside of a box and then tubes, they went all out for front hubs and rear hubs. So I'm gonna open all these out and get those out. I'm sure you can gather, these are the rear hubs too. Once we get them out, we'll talk about it. Got everything out of their boxes and got all of the cardboard and everything over there, which is wild. So much was used, and it's probably not gonna fit in that big box there where we put all the cardboard for recycling that's gonna get picked up later this week. But anyways, I'd rather better packaging than bad packaging. As you can see though, we've been doing a bunch of cleaning. Shop's looking great. We even fit another car in there. There's so much room for activities. It's wild. So you might be wondering, why did I go to all the effort of buying pretty much everything, like the whole hub assembly, the knuckle, the brakes, the rotors, everything? Why did I go and do that when I could have just bought some new hubs for the 32? The answer for that is hubs for the 32 Skyline have really gone up in price, especially considering the front hubs are different than pretty much all the other Nissans and S chassis and whatnot. The rears are the same. In fact, you can get a set of 2 rear hubs that are 5-lug for about $280, $300, brand new, like aftermarket D-Max ones. I think Nissan ones are like $400 for 2. But the front ones, it's like $400, $500 for aftermarket ones for the front, and they're also press-in hubs. So I could have gone down that route, and that would have been very easy. We just disassemble what we have there, pull the 4-lug hubs off, and then put the 5-lugs on, get some new brake rotors, and we're kind of good to go. But the price of everything you see here, and it's in pretty amazing condition, was pretty much all about $300 USD, including the diff. So that's what we're doing. And the best thing is I can take those off that car and sell them and make this all even cheaper. So sometimes you gotta look out for the deals. And man, was this such a good deal, because the rotors alone are like $300 $400 for a set of 4 to change to 5-lug for this. And yeah, it's a missile. I want to keep this car as cheap as possible. I'm kind of like keeping a list of how much everything's costing, and we're reselling anything that we're not going to use on the car so that I can give you guys a very accurate cost breakdown of how much this car costs to build and make it a super good, reliable drift missile. So anyways, that aside, let's look at these. Taking a closer look at everything here, you can see literally they included everything with the whole rear hub assembly. I love it. Brake hoses, they still look great. They're OEM ones, they're not aftermarket, but these are in great condition. No cracks, no splits, no nothing. This car looked like it was very well looked after. It's recently had a brake service. You can also see that there's anti-seize everywhere that it should be. There's Loctite on these and everything, so everything looks great. The knuckles have no crack in them. Usually these like to crack like in here and here. In fact, you can get a little kit from GK Tech where you weld in these pleats here to make it a little stronger up in here and here. But yeah, everything looks amazing. I love they included the nuts and washers for the suspension. Everything is included, every little bracket, everything. I'm really, really happy with whoever this company was on Yahoo Auctions. They actually like didn't have it listed for crazy, stupid, expensive money, even though it's a 32 Skyline like everyone else did. We got it super cheap. Diff, everything we need is right here. We need to weld this today though. It is open, so this is going to have a welded diff in it, this car. Once again, it's a missile. We're not going to spend $800, $600 on a Nismo center. We're just going to kind of let it rip. But yeah, I think we're good. We're going to start throwing these on, start pulling the old ones off, and we'll probably take all the parts to Up Garage at the end of today so that we can get some cash back and see if maybe we'll land in the zero mark, or maybe like, could you imagine if everything just cost us $50 today? That'd be sick. Anyways, let's find out. And just like that, the front is now 5-lug. Both left and right side is done. Super simple, super easy. We got these switched out really fast. I had to pretty much get hands-on and show Daiki how to do the whole Skyline wishbone stuff. But once I did the other side for him, he got this side done really, really fast. But now it's time to get the rear, which is a little bit more complicated. But yeah, we already got 5-lug in the front, so I'm just rubbing in some anti-seize on my studs here. One of the, just a habit that I've really got myself into. It just really helps your nuts slide on nice and easy. But we might as well put the new wheels on the front, because we obviously got some fresh wheels and rubber to go on this. You can ignore the stock suspension in here. We'll be replacing that with some nice coilovers soon, as well as we actually will have to take these knuckles in the front off again at some point when we decide that stock angle is not enough. As you guys know, the theme with the Bogan 32 is to build a drift missile as cheap as possible. So when it came to wheel and tire choice, I had that in mind. And we've had the Koenig hypergrams sitting up on the shelf for the longest period of time, and they were already in the perfect sizes that we needed. So these are gonna be going on the Bogan 32, and we'll probably sort out a really nice like set of Advan wheels or something for the S15 and probably the Skyline as well in the future. But this is gonna be great on the Bogan 32. We went with 17s in the front. It's kind of like the best recipe when it comes to Skylines or S chassis, especially when you have like a stock style cut and shut knuckle. Just makes more sense to have that little bit extra clearance there. We are going to be extending the lower arms at some point by about 25 mil when we do cut and shut the knuckle, and these will just be perfect for that extra clearance so they're not bashing and hitting on things. But one other very important thing is you need to make sure you get the GK Tech high clearance front traction arm or caster arm or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's going to be super important as well for the recipe. But for now, we've got ourselves some brand new Koenig hypergrams to go on. As for the tires, I went with Valino 08Rs, and these are used tires that had a bunch of caster wear here. When you've got a bunch of caster dialed in, sometimes you get a bunch of inner wear. It can also be camber wear, but we flipped them so the meaty part of the tire is on the inside. This will create a little bit of a weird feeling when we're driving, but it's nothing to be really worried about. I don't think this car's gonna feel amazing to drive, but it's definitely gonna be a missile on a party car, so you don't really care about a little bit of weird feedback in the steering wheel. Anyways, these are going on the car. Here we go. First look at the hypergrams on the Skyline. Are we gonna need a spacer? No, we good, we clear. Some fresh lug nuts too, it's pretty important. Got those from GK Tech. Oh, you guys are gonna be excited about this. We got a peel to do I'm really hyped. How many ugga-duggas do they say is good? That'll do for now. Come close, Dikey. My favorite part. Everyone be quiet. Nothing like a good peel. Not bad. Probably the best wheels and tires that have ever been on this car. This is gonna be sick. And I think when we add the bit of camber, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with the fender with these. This is actually awesome. We might actually not need a spacer. Maybe once we add a bit of angle to it. I think we're almost already touching the sway bar and stuff, but we'll get that sorted out. This is gonna be great. We might have to also think about putting a GK Tech high clearance sway bar in this too, but for now, this is gonna be perfect for what we need. Yeah, they look pretty good. Not too bad. Yeah, we definitely need to put some coilovers in this thing though, because that ride height is like double fist. That no one wants to do that. All right, so we're cracking open this diff. Looks mint. It's definitely an open. This is 4811. That's a 4.3 then. That's sick. Wait, 4811. 48 divided by 11, 4.3, right? One second, let's find out. My math isn't great. I always told my math teacher, why do I need to learn math when computers exist? This is probably why. It's a bit faster. Yeah, 4.3. We're good. All right, now I just gotta clean everything out with some non-chlorinated parts cleaner. And then we'll let it burn out for a little bit, and then we're gonna weld it up. But welding diffs is pretty easy. I'm sure you've all seen it on YouTube. You wanna weld this gear to that gear, this gear to that gear, and then you wanna weld this gear to the top of the casing here. And you wanna try and do it on the inside there to repeat the same thing. And then you then rotate it to the other side and do the same thing for extra strength. Don't put a plate in there, it's a waste of time. And generally, every welded diff I've seen break has been with a plate in it. So I don't know why, but the plates always seem to get like kinked and bent up and then spat out. But obviously, some people who put plates in them do weld them like crazy and they never break, but I just don't see the point. I've never had a diff break. If you just weld the gears to the casing and everything all together, it'll never come out. So that's why I just always do that. That's what we're doing. Diff is now locked permanently. Shouldn't have any problems with this thing. We went and welded it in all the four corners of the gears, and then every gear got welded to the casing on both sides. So should be pretty mint, and you can really tell this thing penetrated really good by the coloration of the metal around it. Also, this thing is amazing for like, I think it was like $300 USD. This little welder at 200 amps puts out like that was really nice. Like so much easier welding real like actual thick steel than, you know, panels on a car, that's for sure, especially since I can turn this thing up. It just ripped through it. Loved it. Anyways, now that this is done, we'll let it cool down. We'll put it all back together, clean it out and everything, and it'll go in the car. In the meantime, let's get those rear knuckles switched out. A fair bit of time has passed. The 5-lug swap is done in the rear. We've changed back to the initial drive shafts, and we are now putting in the new welded diff. This is all coming together quite nice. This thing will be able to drive by the end of today, which is definitely pretty awesome. I think overall it really didn't take much time. One thing I'm really excited about as well is the knuckles that I got these hubs on actually have really good condition bushes in them, but the ones that came on the car, the bushes were all shot, which explains why this thing was hopping around in the back like crazy. We got the car on the ground, and just like the front fitment, the rear fitment is pretty shocking. I think we're gonna have to use the 9.5s and roll the guards, because 10.5s, yeah, that ain't gonna work. But for now, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. Until we get coilovers, then this thing ain't gonna fit at all. But let's start this thing up and let's move it on out. Hopefully the welded diff doesn't destroy my floors. Nice. Oh yeah. We also still need to bleed the brakes. Not bad, not bad. Well, let's have a look here. You know what? I kind of really like these wheels on this car. It's gonna look sick, especially once we get the fitment right. I got a bunch of 9.5s up there. So we'll put the 9.5s on, and then I think we're gonna clear beautifully, because that's a lot of poke. We could also add a bit of camber, but I'd rather try and keep it 0 if possible. But yeah, once the guards are rolled, I think we'll be able to tuck a 9.5 fine. Looks good. Also, we are not going to be running 265s on the rear of this. This thing is probably gonna just have 235s on it. Thing's definitely got some kind of misfire going on right now. Probably one of the plugs is messed up again. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this car is progressing, and I think these wheels really actually suit this thing. It's gonna look sick, especially for a mishap. I cannot wait to get coilovers in there though and fix that gap. But the front, I mean, we've got to have this thing Ebisu spec, so we'll probably half the front, and the rear will pretty much, yeah, be a lot lower too. I'm trying to match the front, but we just got to make sure that this thing's going to clear everything at Ebisu circuit getting to the tracks and whatnot, because there's definitely some steep hills coming out of the death tunnels. But otherwise, I think this is going to look awesome. We still need to do something about, I mean, aero, I don't think we're going to need really any aeros for this. It's a missile, so I think we'll keep it clean. But I don't know what I want to do with these headlights. They're just too good, and I don't want to see them get smashed. So I'm going to try and hunt around on Yahoo Auctions for something, or we'll just put an LED kind of like mini like LED bar in there, and then it'll be fine. But I'd like to kind of still have the look of a 32. So if I can find $300 headlights that are like a little scratched or something, I'll go with those. But overall, I'm pretty hyped. Thing looks awesome. The diff works too. As we were leaving out, I could kind of hear it when we were turning. It was scraping a little bit on the floor, and it seemed to handle it quite well. But yeah, otherwise, Bogan 32 looking legit. I'm home now, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you're excited about the Bogan 32. It's definitely progressing, really, really nice. And what's a good phrase? It's aging like fine wine. I'm trying to make it sound a little bit more posh now that we have a 5-lug conversion on there and some decent wheels. I think that thing's gonna be awesome, and I cannot wait till the rest of the stuff that we're waiting on arrives for us to do the manual swap, get the engine all sorted out, and proper engine like control with an ECU. It's gonna be great, and I can't wait to get that thing making. I'm hoping for 300 horsepower, because if we can make that, that thing's gonna be so much fun and the perfect missile for Ebisu circuit. But that aside, I've actually been in this really weird, like obsessive cleaning mood since last night. I acid cleaned the floors, well, the tiles in my shower at home. As you guys know, I'm sure you will work on cars, all the like black dirt and grime and grease that comes off you ends up staining, getting stuck on your tiles, and it doesn't matter what shower or bathroom cleaner you use, it will not come off. So I used some good old concrete acid on it, and it came up brand new. And then that's when I just started freaking out about cleaning everything, because then I woke up super early. I did the lawns, and then I pressure washed everything out the front. I pressure washed like the gate, the fence, everything. It looks brand new. It actually looks way newer than it ever did when we first moved in, which is mind blowing. And then after that, I went to the shop, and then I freaked out about how cluttered and messy everything was. I'm sure you can see in the video, the shop's nice now. We could even fit a whole nother car in where all the shelving and the parts are, which is obviously the abandoned R32 Skyline. We took that off the lift and put it in there because we're actually waiting for some panel bond to finish curing on the rear fenders. We obviously cut, welded those, and I sealed it with the panel bond, and then we're going to be going back over it again with seam sealer just for that like final like insurance. But yeah, I'm really happy with how projects are progressing right now. I know it doesn't really like look much if you look at it from afar, but obviously a lot has been happening. And whenever we kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock, or we got to wait for something on a project, we're able to switch to another one and then get some work done on that. In content like wise though, it's not the greatest. I'd prefer to try to do like a build series where back to back videos on the car, we get it finished in a timely kind of quick manner. But obviously with all of the crazy stuff that's been happening with the shop, like getting the new shop and setting that up and all that kind of stuff, finance and everything like that, the priority has just been in trying to get all of that all situated and sorted out. And rather than buying everything that we need in one big chunk, we've been kind of chipping away at stuff. But now that we're getting into the new year, I'm really focusing on trying to get more of like a series flow happening for each build. But that will probably happen once we're finished with the current ones that we're working on. But yeah, that aside, I had an amazing productive day. It feels epic to get so much done in one day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I think in the next one, we're actually heading to ABC Circuit to do a shakedown on the Chaser. Tons of stuff has happened to the car. It's actually going to be an entirely new car, which I'm excited about. But also, we're downgrading the turbo on the car. And that might seem weird. You're going to have to watch the next video to find out. Before you go though, make sure you also head to SAMMIT.net and grab some of the new merch that's there, and I will see you all in the next video. That's a lot of talking and my throat hurts. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.